Hey, this is Notser, and we're looking at the 0.5.2 patch on the public test realm. It just went live. I got this recorded. I'm going to upload it, and you'll be able to see it. We're going to look at the settings real quick. You can now select full screen windowed for everyone who would like to use a second screen. Woohoo! They also added a gamma option, which is very cool, of course. Gamma is controllable on your monitor, but now in game for those who really care about that. And another thing that they've added, you can uncheck the quick message voiceover. The voiceovers are the concentrate your fire, dagnabbit, all that sort of thing that the F keys allow you to do. You can disable the audio portion of it. It will still come over in your chat. And they've added the ability to turn on a clock in the bottom right corner of your UI. They also added invert y-axis, and I'm not sure, I don't think this existed before this patch. For those of you who are comfortable with the game right now, don't use it, but if you were uncomfortable with the y-axis, you can now invert it. Most likely, the people who were uncomfortable have already changed it. So yeah, I guess it's, it's built in now. But look at this. We are out in the middle of nowhere. What is going on? Well, they've added the ability to swap your port. And in order to do that, you go up to this anchor in the top left corner, and you can select up to 5 if you have premium. We'll go to New York. New York is from the 1940s. It's got Christmas, fireworks going on, snow's falling. You have the Statue of Liberty. You've got passenger liners. You've got factories. You've got a blimp. It's just really cool. You also have Yokosuka. Yokosuka is a Japanese naval yard, and I believe it's over 800 years old. Correct me if I'm wrong, Japanese or anyone who's familiar. But it is just so interesting. It's deep blues. You have the greens, solar arrays, wind turbines. It's just so modern, and I'm sure that it's very, very busy. It also has a giant man-made wall, and there's a little lock that you can go through. And I believe what it's designed to do is to cause the water to be calm. Obviously, it's much easier to work on and deal with ships when they're in a more controlled environment. I don't believe the Japanese can remove all of the water out of this area. If they can, tell me, because that would be awesome. But yeah, it's just one other method to allow for 24/7 manufacturing, probably. I'm sure they have that. And we're going to go to the standard port that most of you see is the Philippines. This is what you would have if you didn't have premium. And of course, the Hawaii port, which is only available if you have premium time. So I assume it's going to be the same case. But now that they have this built in, modders can add more selections, and it's going to be more natural. I don't know why World of Tanks never did this, because they have pretty much the same scenario. They make environments for you to enjoy. Usually they're related to events, and they just never took advantage of them. Now, you can also see the Murmansk has a very unique camo pattern. This did not exist, obviously, before 0.5.2. They have now added permanent camouflage for all premium ships. Every single one will now come default with a premium camouflage that doesn't cost anything extra. It is just as good as the 4% fire accuracy buff of the stripes, but it also adds 30% to XP earned in battle. So you really want to grind your commanders in premium ships. One nice thing, though, is you can still put the spotted, the striped, and the special event camo on if you so desire. The special event is still better, but you are paying a premium to have that better camo. Obviously, this is fantastic. This is great. This is necessary. This is a benefit to everyone. It will give more value to premiums, and we're going to look at the, Japanese, Ishizuki, hopefully. And this is the camo pattern for the Ishizuki. It's green and white. It kind of reminds me of part of the Rising Sun pattern, which I, of course, love that sort of thing. It just looks so cool, right? And again, it gives the exact same 30% XP, 4% accuracy. The Atago I don't own on the public test realm, but it still has the camo, and I assume this camo is going to be fixed and apply the same permanent camouflage. We can take a look at the Atlanta. The Atlanta did not come with camo previously, and now it has this cool little wave action. So it's just going to be a more interesting game to experience. You're going to see all these premium ships have these unique camo patterns, and that's going to be really fun. It would be cool if World of Tanks had this sort of thing. It just makes a premium vehicle more valuable, and it justifies the cost a little bit if you get the benefit of extra XP and a unique look. I think all of that's definitely worth it. The Temperance is not in this particular UI, obviously, since it's a special event purchase, but the Aurora is, and it's got a black to white camo pattern that kind of goes up. Now, the ship is still pretty much garbage, but at least it looks cool. And another thing that they added was signal flags. There's a bunch of signal flags. I think they added 6, maybe 7, 8, and they've added some rewards to medals that you could earn previously, like high caliber. I just played a game, which I'm going to share with you, and I earned November Foxtrot. It speeds up the reload time of consumables, so it's just straight beneficial, and this is attached to high caliber, remember? Those who've earned high caliber previously, you just earned it and you didn't get a reward, right? You're like, okay, cool, high caliber. But now, every single medal, theoretically, will give you a signal flag, so that's just awesome. One thing I would like to see is I would like to see the achievement attached to these flags, so I didn't have to do some like detective work in order to figure out what's attached to what now. I think there is a way. If I'm wrong, please let me know. But I haven't figured out a way to know exactly which flag is attached to which. I'm very excited by these changes in particular. I have a ton of premium ships, obviously, to share them with you, and I will be more inclined to buy more because they offer me something unique that isn't attached to other ships. Now we're going to go into a game with the Yorck. I wanted to play the Yorck in particular because the turret traverse was buffed. Now, this commander only has 1 skill point, so I do have situation awareness, so don't expect miracles. So the 2 things I wanted to talk about was 0.5.2. Modules now will be sold for value when you sell the ship. We talked about this way back, that there was hint of this coming, and it is coming. 0.5.2 will sell modules for ships that you have sold previously. At the start of 0.5.2, it's just going to globally sell all of those modules that are hidden in your depot. So everyone can expect a large chunk of credits to be distributed back to you. I'm very excited for that. This Fuso is going to experience the torpedo changes firsthand. But yeah, extra credits for everyone is, of course, beneficial. There's no negative whatsoever to that, and it's just unfortunate that the system wasn't in place at the start. Now, the big change, torpedoes. Torpedoes have been changed so many times, it's really hard to keep track. But ship-launched torpedoes are going to get a detectability buff. It's going to be harder for you to see them in the water, and all battleships, well, very nearly, all very heavy ships, battleships and carriers, will have a slower rudder shift response. Obviously, this will impact torpedoes and their ability to strike, but it will also impact when you're turning and showing your side to big battleships and their ability to citadel you. So that is a separate issue. My primary issue is if you're going to give 2 buffs, 2 very large buffs, I think, to torpedoes and how they work, you should be very careful to change the balance of power. Because right now, it feels like a really good destroyer captain is dominant. Yes, battleships are dominant too, but a destroyer captain is dominant in so many different ways. Their detectability is so good that they can easily take objectives, they can harass, they can attack from stealth, and they can disappear. And of course, that's a huge advantage. And it's just going to get worse with US destroyers and Japanese destroyers. I could see one of these changes going in, but not both. Now, I love destroyers. They're my favorite class to play. They have such a unique gameplay type. It feels like you're on the edge of control, and you really are playing with fire when you go up against some of these ships and their massive guns, and I love that feeling. It's so rewarding and so fun. Do I feel like destroyers need a buff? I think torpedoes for destroyers need a buff, yes. I think guns for destroyers are too strong. I think the Soviet destroyer line and the US destroyer line, to a degree, are very strong. You can fire from stealth, smoke, and you could do devastating amounts of damage to enemy ships because high rate of fire, the ability to set fires on the enemy, just a whole host of gun-related balance that can really put people off on engaging or dealing with these destroyers. Now, Japanese destroyers, their gun rate of fire is pretty garbage. Their guns are effective, but it's just very slow, so they can't really fight in a 1v1 against Soviet and US destroyers. But with these changes, wow. Be careful. US destroyers are getting more buffs, and Japanese destroyers are definitely getting buffs, but is it enough for Japanese destroyers when you see that the US destroyer line is also benefiting from the exact same systems that exist? I don't think so. I think Japanese destroyers outside of the Shimakaze, and the Shimakaze is a unique beast because it can just put so many torpedoes in the water that you can't maneuver. 15 torpedoes is an extreme amount of torpedoes to have to deal with in any ship, let alone a battleship. So they don't really need a buff, okay? They'll take it. But this is really for the Mutsuki, the Hatsuharu, the Fubuki, the Kagero. Those ships definitely can benefit from these buffs. They don't put out quite as many torpedoes in the water. And I'm happy for that. I really think if this buff is too much, and US destroyers are just even better, I think Wargaming is going to feel like they need to pull it back, and I think that would be unfortunate for Japanese destroyers. But hopefully they realize Japanese destroyers do need the love, and they'll put it back in some manner if these changes don't end up going through in the exact same system that is currently on the public test run. Now this Pensacola is dead in the water. He's 9 kilometers. We switched to AP, and we're going to fire on him. And we're moderately successful. I would say pretty unsuccessful. We're taking damage rather well, and that's part of the angling of my ship. Remember, German cruisers cannot take damage that well. And there's a lot of enemy ships in the area that could potentially fire on them. Remember, I don't have the turret traverse commander skill, so this is the default, and it feels pretty good. 20-second buff should feel pretty good, Notser. Yeah, they needed it though. The Yorck was garbage. The Pensacola needs a buff. The New Orleans needs a buff. The U.S. cruiser line needs some love. They started going towards more armor, and that can definitely work. Not against battleships, mind you. Maybe it'll help in certain angling scenarios, but the U.S. cruiser line needs some love. I rarely play it, and I rarely feel like it's worth playing. So, there are, of course, map changes, but very minor. This is Two Brothers, and it's identical, or very nearly. They did change some geometry to make it look a little more interesting, I guess, but there's really nothing here that stands out being all that unique. I will be looking at those new maps if I can get my hands on them, But the current maps and their changes, really, there's really nothing there. Now we're going to send out our torpedoes. How often do you get to send out torpedoes in your German cruisers? And we're going to lead him a little bit. Figure he might continue on. Maybe he was slowing down. He's going to speed up. I don't know. I just want to protect myself from the inevitable miss that almost always happens. And it looks like we're going to, yeah, we strike him down. Taken out. He sends his torpedoes, and we're going to avoid those torpedoes. And, yeah, we're going to clean up. Game looks pretty much locked up at this point. It's just me on the public test realm, playing with a bunch of Europeans, Russians, maybe Southeast Asian guys, a couple North American, but it's not an ideal scenario with the ping, but we make it work. Tomorrow's video most likely will be a preview of those two maps, the Shattered map and the Atlantic, if it's available. I have yet to run into it on the public test realm, so I have no idea if I'm going to have to finagle some sort of training environment. I did not see the ability to queue up on my own, and that's kind of what I did in the last patch. I was able to queue up on those maps and preview them for everyone. This enemy Nagato is all alone. 1v4, solo warriors on the table. Is he gonna survive? Is he gonna take us all out? No, he's not. It's not good for him. But he's putting up a fight, so you can really respect that. And, possibly he's never played this ship before. A lot of the public test realm is players trying vehicles they've never owned before. And, we set a fire. Nice. Oh, he's immune to the fire. Man, he's already used damage control. Ugh. And it's so much easier to use HE at long range. I have to use this on live. The Yorck is just not an AP at long range. Yeah, we get high caliber. Nice. And that's where we earned high caliber for the signal flag that we discussed in the port. And who's going to get the kill? Are we going to get the kill? We get a little bit of damage, a little bit of chip damage. I don't believe that's our fire. I believe that is a friendly who set the fire. He earns high caliber, which is good for him. Oh, we tickled him there. We fire again, but he's just so low, we might not get there in time. Friendlies looks like they're finishing him off, and he burns down. Okay. Enemy taken out. This was the Yorck on the public test realm, and I think we did a pretty good job. Yeah, I think shockingly, we are just as effective on the public test realm as we are in the regular game. I wanted to share this because I needed gameplay of the public test realm to sit in the background, and it was a pretty solid carry from the Yorck. I hope everyone enjoyed this game. I hope everyone is excited for 0.5.2. I certainly am. I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.